So I bought all this bee equipment, and some more. I got a nice 20 frame date ant extractor and a bunch of other stuff at the beginning of the year. I paid $5,500 for all this equipment, and a lot of it is pretty old. It's been well used. Some of it's actually probably older than me. For example, some of these nuke boxes. But I have a plan. The reason I bought all this equipment is because I'm trying to get to 100 colonies as soon as I can. I'm hoping to get to 100 colonies by the end of this year. Not sure if that's going to happen exactly, but I have right around 50 colonies right now. I started out the year with about 30 colonies, and at the beginning of last year I had 7 colonies. So I'm trying not to go past tripling each year by very much, maybe a little bit, but not by very much, because I'm trying to let my beekeeping skills grow as my number of colonies grows. And this equipment, like for example, you can see this box right here is pretty aged. It's got some wear and tear on it, and it probably doesn't have that much life left in it, maybe a year or 2, 3, something like that. But my thoughts are that hopefully I'll be able to expand my number of colonies, use this equipment, and then help that or allow that to help me to cash flow some newer equipment. And all I really need is to be able to have a place to grow the bees out, multiply colonies, because really the colonies are what's worth the money. That's the engine for being able to make money in beekeeping. Is for most people is going to be related to how many colonies you have. So whether you sell colonies, or whether you lease colonies like I do, or whether you are 100% honey-based revenue, or honey and propolis, or whatever, the bees themselves are going to be a big restriction if you don't have enough colonies of bees. So that's my thought. I figured $5,500, which is what I paid for all this stuff, including a lot of stuff that I didn't even show. A couple bottling tanks, a bunch of unassembled deep boxes. I think there were 99 nuke boxes in this purchase, and I bought out an old beekeeper. I had to go about 6 hours from here. So, and that was 2 trips, and I had other expenses, travel expenses, and rented a big old U-Haul to transport everything. Actually, ended up getting 3 survivor stock bee colonies, and all told, I think I came out pretty good on the deal. I think it was a mutually good deal, but also for me, being able to advance my timeline, I think, is really the most important thing, so that I'm not buying everything piecemeal and having to research online. Okay, what's the best thing of this? What's the best thing of that? What's the best item I can purchase? Trying to be able to help myself out by basically advancing, a year or 2, 3, whatever it is, along my timeline. Get to those spots where I'm trying to get to faster, and then basically try to turbocharge what I'm trying to do, which is to try to make enough income off the beekeeping that I feel like it's in the right spot, and that's where I'm trying to get to, and I'm not quite there yet. It's doing well, but I'm also still very much learning how to be a beekeeper. The first 4 years probably were a lot of failures and trial and error, and just trying to get my head wrapped around what beekeeping is. This is my 6th year, and so I finally feel like I'm starting to grasp it. I think Um, a lot of Bob Binney's videos have been extremely helpful, um, and just that palatable information, bite-sized information, piece by piece, until the picture of what's actually happening through the year with the bees, and understanding the bees enough to feel like I can actually um, hopefully be successful in keeping colonies alive, and maybe making some honey. I haven't made much honey yet, but I've been getting better at keeping them alive and splitting them. And I am in a tough area for honey, though, in the hill country in central Texas, so that's sort of a bonus, because since I lease colonies to people for ag exemptions, honey's not my focus. They need to have bee colonies on their property, or they can't have an ag exemption for bees. So that's really my main thing, is just trying to keep them alive, and just trying to multiply colonies so I can have more flexibility in the different sort of beekeeping areas that I'm trying to expand into. So I really feel like this beekeeping purchase was a pretty big deal. There's a bunch of these nukes right here. I haven't even gone through every box or anything like that. I'm kind of going through them as I need them. So if I need a nuke box, I'm scraping it out, cleaning it if needed. A lot of times they've got cobwebs and stuff. They're sitting in basically a barn for a while, and a lot of the frames aren't any good, or maybe they need a new foundation, or whatever the case may be. So I have not gone through all of them, but just having them here on site where I can grab them as needed has already been extremely helpful. And I'm really looking forward to the rest of this year. Not sure I'm going to hit my goal of 100 colonies, but I'm trying. I guess another piece of information that would be good for y'all to know is I'm not really feeding them a whole lot, because we've been in a flow. If I was feeding them more, I'd have more confidence that they're going to get to 100 colonies, that I'm going to get to 100 colonies, because they need to grow out and have enough brood, have enough population to be able to make basically another set of splits. A lot of these are smaller colonies. They're from removals, they're even swarms, they're splits, they're nukes, they're that sort of thing, where I actually need a lot of them just to grow to full size first before I really split them. So it's not just as simple as I have 100 or 50 full-size colonies and I just need to split them and get to 100 quickly. I need to make sure that I'm not stretching them too thin, because then I'm going to actually move backwards. Some, at least. I may still move forward in total, but I might move backward if I'm not careful. So I don't want to take 2 steps back and 1 step forward, or 1 step back and 2 steps forward. I'd rather just take 2 steps forward and have some patience if I can. So that's where I'm at, and I'm just trying to grow this bee operation and do it at the right pace and learn as I go. So that's what's going on, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks. Here's some bees on the horehound. They used to make candy out of horehound, and they still actually do. It's just not as common. It's a bitter herb from the old world, from Eurasia. And it's in the mint family, and it just keeps blooming. You'll see right here, here's a cluster of blooms, here's another cluster of blooms, another cluster of blooms, and it'll just keep growing and blooming as it moves up, as it grows up. So the bees are just continually working that until the weather gets really hot, and then it starts shutting down. But it is a perennial, and so it tends to come back whenever it has a chance. It'll start blooming again, growing and blooming again, and then It'll be back the next year, and it's pretty reliable. A lot of livestock don't like to eat it. Sheep and goats will, but it's not the sheep's first choice, and the cows won't really touch it. Deer won't eat it. So this is horehound.